Welcome back to Btwilla's Garage. What you see in front of you here is a remote start kit that we're going to be installing on a 2022 Toyota 4Runner. The cool thing about this kit is it does not kill the vehicle when you open the door. So that's an annoyance that a lot of people deal with a push to start vehicle for anti-theft is the reason the manufacturers do that. When you open the door, the engine shuts off. Accessorides has bypassed that with their kit, and you'll see inside we're going to be tapping into the wiring harness. So this kit, when you open the door, you have your key in your pocket. The whole point of it is you can get in and go. You don't have to push, start the vehicle again, have your neighbors hear your vehicle start twice while you're taking off. All of that good stuff has been handled. We're bringing you the first kit in the world that bypasses that, and we're going to be teaching you how to install it today. Welcome to the channel. Step one in installing the Accessorides Remote Start Kit is to find this piece here and lightly pull down. There's 3 push connectors that are gonna easily come out. In this panel, we can set to the side. Step 2 is to remove the access cover here. It is helpful from time to time to have a plastic trim tool piece, but it's really not needed. You just pull and this panel will drop down, and that's gonna give us access to these 10mm bolts that we're gonna take out in order to drop the glove box. Step 3 is gonna be to remove the trim piece in front of your climate control. Now you have to be a little heavy-handed on this. I've done it many times, but you're gonna pinch on the sides and pull it out. This may be a bad angle, but just like that. We'll set that to the side. There's a small piece of trim right here that you need to remove as well on the left side of the glove box. Step 5 is going to be to remove your door sill. And in order to do that, you just pop it up. There's more clips on the front side. There we go. This kick panel we need to remove. I'm going to show you a B-roll video now of a little plastic nut that we need to turn to the left and remove off. After you spin that off, this kick panel is going to come off really easily, but I'm going to do that off camera now. Here's the plastic nut that we just removed. And now the door, or the kick panel, should, where's that last clip? Oh, there it is. Pop right off. Next, you're going to want to take your glove box, open it, and there's 3 screw covers here, or bolt covers. We've already got access to the other 3. There's 6 in total that we're going to want to remove. So you just pop these down by putting a trim tool in. I'm going to do that off camera, but you can do that easily with a flathead or a trim tool. Just be careful not to mar up your plastic. So here's the 10mm bolts that we just revealed by taking off those little panel clips. And then we've got 3 more, like I said, down low that we'll show you momentarily with better lighting. But this is going to allow us to drop the glove box to get to the wiring harness that the kit needs to access. All right, we're going to take these 6 10mm bolts. Now the kit does come with instructions that highlights, I'm not sure if you can see that, highlights the bolt locations. But I'm going to do it in front of you. I know this is a tough angle, so I may fast forward this. Get an extension. Before we drop the airbag and start working behind the airbag, it's best to remove the negative terminal on your battery. You can do so with a 10mm. Just take this this bolt right here off, this nut right here, lift your negative terminal, and then you'll be safe as far as any airbags deploying unintentionally. Now that we've disconnected our negative terminal off the battery, we're going to be messing with the airbag just briefly. You're going to put your pry tool in behind this bottom panel and carefully pull back. So there you can see where you should insert your pry tool and remove the bottom panel. Next, we're going to check the instructions and be very careful because there is an airbag down there that we'll want to be very sensitive with. All right, guys, this yellow wire is extremely important not to let carry the weight of this entire piece. So what I've got is just a regular zip tie. 2 bottom bolts to the glove box. 1. There's 1 more to the left here. This extension is not doing us any favors anymore. 2. Now our entire glove box can lift and come out. So guys, what I just realized, our support for the airbag is tied to the glove box that we're removing. We're gonna redo this support. I'm gonna have Alan hold this up while I clip the wire. I'm gonna remove the glove box and we're gonna find another place to support this airbag. We're gonna do that off camera. All right guys, so we've dropped the glove box. The glove box does have a wire here that you can see that we pretty much use this moving blanket to hold up, so the wire is loose and not, you know, supporting the glove box. So here's something important to understand. There's 3 connectors that are gonna live on the passenger side. You have a 34 pin, a 24 pin, I believe that's that one, and a 16 pin connector. So these are gonna live on the passenger side. The way to know the one that goes to the driver's side is it has a longer wire. So this one here is gonna go underneath the dash and go to the driver's side. The brain of the unit itself is gonna live in the passenger area. We're gonna zip tie it or 3M tape it somewhere safe. These are the 3 connectors we're gonna be dealing with on the passenger side, and we're gonna show you those individually. All right, so the lighting is a little difficult, but the way to reference this, here's your climate control knob for your heat and cool. This is your 34 pin connector. In order to remove it, take your trim tool. Be careful with the wires, guys. But there's a clip release on the climate control side. Be very, very careful on the wires. Can you see this little guy, this little tab? With it pushed in, you should be able to pull. This is almost a 3-hand job, but we can do it. And the key here is to rock it. So with that tab pushed in, we're carefully rocking back and forth, and it comes out just like that. That's 1. So the best way to do this job is to do them as you go. So as mentioned, here's our 34 pin. I used this word about 1,000,000 times in the last video, but we're gonna piggyback into the system. Push until you hear it click. Push it again to be safe. And then piggyback into the system. And this is where our brain to our remote start is gonna help to control the vehicle. That's step 1. We got 2 more to go on this side. All right. So there's a black wire or a black harness here and a black harness here. We're going to be working on the one on the right. It's going to be the same deal. I know that these angles are tough, but press the release clip, rock it. So here's that connector. I used a small flathead to remove. We're going to go in with our new system. And what this is going to do after it clicks is, once again, we're piggybacking in. Make sure you hear that click. We got 1 more to go. I'm pretty sure it's this guy here, but I'm gonna make sure. It's gonna be the toughest because your flathead struggles to get back there to release the clip. I may just have to go with my old faithful fingernail. There we go. Same deal. Last connector here. The orientation of the pin is going to be on the left, the release pin. Click. Click. Now we're going to move to the driver's side. The important thing that I always like to tell everyone is not to put your glove box back together until you've tested the system. That's just good practice in case a connector's not all the way in. You don't have to take everything out again. So if you can see down here where my hand is, there's access to get to the driver's side. This wire pretty much needs to go across the side. The brain itself is going to live behind the glove box. So now we're on the driver's side. There is an access panel here as well. Same deal as the other side that we're going to remove. And this is going to allow that wire to go through. So Alan's gonna show you here this grabber tool. It's got a plunger on the end and it will grab wires. And this will feed through the back side of the console. So I'm just gonna push it all the way through to the other side. And that's what's gonna allow us to get that wire. And I fed my grabber tool. I'm actually not gonna use the plunger because I'm worried that it may fray the wire. I'm just gonna loosely electrical tape that wire, and I'm gonna go to the other side and pull. So you wanna be really easy with this, but here in a second, I should have all of our connectors. There they are. Welcome home, boys. All right, so Alan's got glitter in his car. We'll ask him about that later. Just kidding. We did get the wire through. Now, guys, what we're gonna have to do is underneath here, zip tie this wire up and out of the way. This is your other airbag. Do not have this wire in front of the airbag or it will restrict the airbag if you were to ever need it. We're gonna get it way up here zip tied. I'm gonna let you figure that out on your own. Just don't run it in front of this plastic. I don't even know if you could, but we're gonna get that. All right, guys, so in order to connect the BCM 30 pin connector, you're gonna get your hand in between your steering column and pull back on this piece. A trick that I typically do is put like a roll of tape here, and that'll keep it out of the way. But I think since I have two hands, it won't be too bad. Since I've got Alan's help filming, we're gonna remove this top connector. Can you see that all right there? Mm-hmm. That's the middle piece, and that is where our plug's gonna go. Now keep in mind, we need to feed this guy up from the bottom so we can properly route it and keep it out of the way of any airbags. So I'm just feeding it up here, pulling it through. This pin is going to replace our BCM, which is going to go like this. Click. And then we are going to connect the existing BCM into the harness, like so. Click. Now we're done. Now it's time to get to programming. Let's leave everything unbuttoned, so if we have any issues, we can address those before we put our glove box and everything back together. Put our negative back on. Keep in mind this will spark a little bit, but it won't hurt you. Do not touch your negative and positive. That is 101 stuff. In order to remote start, this kit has a safety feature that if you have your hood open, it will not start. I believe it will start with the doors open, but we're gonna close those too, and we're gonna get to programming. So let's close our hood back all the way and see if we can get this thing working. So here's our module. This is the brain of our unit. One thing that you'll note, guys, is if your steering wheel locks like this, you do not need to cut the loop that's indicated here. The instructions say this clearly. Alan's steering wheel does lock, which means we're not going to cut the loop. If you can freely turn your steering wheel, if you have a late model 4Runner, like a mid 2022 to 2024, you'll need to cut that loop in order to get this to work. I just wanted to show that real quick on video. We're going to get to programming. If you notice down here on the brain, the light is currently red. It says, if not plugged in already, connect blue, black, red, white connectors to the module, and then wait for the module to turn solid red. Without touching the brake, press the push to start button twice to turn on the ignition. The LED module will flash green quickly. So we're just gonna not turn it on, but push the ignition, and we're gonna look for a green light on the module. Oh, sorry guys, we need to push the push start twice. You see that flashing green? That's good. It says press the push to start button once more to turn the ignition off, and then twice more to turn it back on. Once to turn off, twice more to turn it back on. The LED will flash orange quickly and then turn solid orange. Press the push to start button once more to turn the ignition off, the LED will flash orange and then green. Close all doors, hood, tailgate, and press the lock button on the OEM remote. Wait 2 seconds, then press the unlock button. The light on the module will turn solid green and go out. You have successfully completed the module programming sequence. Close all doors, wait 30 seconds, now hit the lock button 3 times. The vehicle will start and run. When approaching the vehicles, unlock the door, close the vehicle, and then press and hold the brake for 3 seconds. You may now shift out of gear and drive. Note, do not bump or move the shifter during the takeoff process or the vehicle will shut down. All right, guys, let's get out of the car and see if what we did worked.
Yeah.
All right, so here's our remote. My hands are kind of dirty from the job. We're gonna press the lock button 3 times. 1, 2, 3.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
As we approach the vehicle, we can unlock it. At this moment in time, the doors are locked. So he has the keyless entry. The door is unlocked. Any other remote start on a 4Runner push to start in the world does not do this. It would cut off at this point. We're happy to bring to you the first remote start kit that does not turn off when you enter the vehicle. Once entered, you're going to want to press and hold the brake for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. And at that point, we can put it in reverse. I don't want to hit Alan, but I'm just going to show you that we can put it in reverse. We can put it in drive. We can park. And we can get out.
Yeah.
So the cool thing with the Accessorides kit is if you accidentally press your lock button 3 times when you did not intend to start the vehicle, if you push lock 3 more times, it will kill the engine of the vehicle. So that's really neat, so you don't have to get out of bed because your toddler was playing with your keys or you accidentally pushed the lock button in a grocery store parking lot when you were just trying to lock the truck, not start it. Go ahead and press the lock button 3 more times and it will end the remote start engine running process and you'll be able to go back to your grocery shopping. That's a pretty cool feature.